Hey gang, Robert Carr here, coming to you live from my parents' house in the great state of Iowa to tell you about a book that I read, enjoyed, and know that you can benefit greatly from. The title is This Book Will Teach You How to Write Better. The author is Neville Medhora. Neville is a copywriter who I really enjoy, and when I found out he had a book, I snapped it up like that, read it, and got some great information from it. So we're just going to sort of jump in here, and I'm going to tell you 3 things I enjoyed about this book and that you can, benefit from greatly as well. Even if you don't necessarily buy this book, you're going to learn something from watching this video, and it's going to help you out. So the first thing would be the fact that this book is pretty concise. You can probably see it's not too long. It's about 54 pages in total. And, compared to most sales books, such as this one called Advanced Selling Strategies by Brian Tracy, this is 420 pages. Don't try and smoke the book. But, it's a very meaty book. And this one, on the onside, it might seem, a little small or a little disappointing. But, to quote my old girlfriend, size does not matter. So, even if you're only an inch or 2 in length, you can still get the job done. And boy, does this book deliver. The inside of it, every single page in here has some great piece of information. Each of the chapters, very concise, like I said, but they pack a wallop. Honestly, Neville can say more in this than most sales books, like the one I held up before, can usually say in about 5 or 10 pages. So that's great, and additionally, Neville, he even admits this in the front of the book, this book was made to be short specifically so that you can take it, and you can read it, or, skim through it, peruse it somehow, before you sit down to write your next piece of copy. So, if you're going to write an article, a blog post, maybe something for a client, an email newsletter, something of that nature, you can take this out, and you can sit down right away, and you can, just flip through there, kind of get some little tips, get some little tidbits of information, and implement it to improve what you're working on. I actually did this morning, believe it or not. I was working on a ClickBank product I'm promoting, and I just sat down, flipped through this book, found 3 things I could improve with my own copy, and, implemented them right away. So, helped out. Really, it took no extra effort, just skimmed through there while I was working, and it helped out greatly. I'm sure that sales are going to be reflected in a very positive manner. And the second thing I want to talk about in here is the fact that there's a lot of great information about what is called casual copy. Neville talks about this a lot in some of his other stuff, like his YouTube channel and his blog. But here he really goes into a little more depth about what it is, how it benefits you, and why a lot of people make a mistake by ignoring it. And casual copy is sort of this very conversational tone you use when you're discussing, maybe a product or trying to get some sort of information out there. Sort of like what I'm doing right now, it's very much just conversational. You're sitting there, it's just me and you talking together. Unfortunately, and I'm actually guilty of this when I started doing different writing stuff and doing different sales stuff, most people make the mistake of trying to use their writing platform, be it, a blog or a newsletter or something of that nature, and they try and use it to show off how smart they are, how much they know, how many obscure facts they've mastered, things like that. And it ends up, it distracts from the message, it confuses people, they're very befuddled by that, and it just ends up, it makes you look very much like a know-it-all and kind of, just not really like someone who's that friendly or has their best interest in mind. Like, he goes into some examples in here. I'll just flip to the back quick. I'll just read you one of them because I thought it was pretty funny about how this kind of works, right? This would be, here would be kind of the casual copy would be, what is 2 plus 2? It's 4. And then, the hard copy or the sort of someone trying to sound more, wordy or like to have a more sophisticated vocabulary would be something like this, What is the sum addition of a prime positive number that is the opposite of -2 and another number of the same qualities? And that is actually something I see a lot. Like, that might sound funny, but a lot of websites and stuff, they try and do this where they try and sound more... I actually did some work with some people a while ago. I had to quit because this is how they wanted to write, was sort of like that in this very sort of academic, very dry fashion where, just no one is going to read that and no one is going to, come away buying something. So that's a big mistake. A lot of people make that. I don't know if you make that, but I definitely did when I started out. And this book can definitely help you kind of notice where those problems are. And it has some great remedies in there. One of them that Neville gives is to take yourself and just record yourself talking about what the product is. Set up your camera, set up your microphone, talk about it in front of there like you're talking to yourself. Kind of, like I said earlier, what we're doing right now. And then play it back and you can get, sort of how to write the copy from there. You can take a lot of the sentences you spoke and just transcribe them right to text and it will work perfectly from there. So that's the second thing on there. And, like I said, that's something you can benefit from. You don't even necessarily need to buy the book. But, if you have a blog or a sales letter, definitely take that to heart and definitely look for more ways to be conversational, friendly, and just, sort of talk in a manner that people are going to understand without having to run to the dictionary or without having to look up some, obscure reference of some sorts. The last thing I want to talk about here would be the excellent advice this book had on headlines. Now, headlines are probably the most important thing that you can work on. There are whole books and there are whole seminars just dedicated to headlines for, different pieces of copy. I don't know, I went to the library about a week ago or so, and I saw this, that entire book on headlines for, blogs and stuff like that, or headlines, email subject lines, things like that. Neville in here actually does a great job. He really covers everything you need to know about it. And the reason that headlines are so important, I should probably mention this first before I get into why his information is great, is because 80% of people will never read past your headline. They'll see your headline, read it, and decide that it does not interest whatever's going on next. It does not interest them. And Neville sort of has a remedy for this with headlines and then also maybe headers. These are, if you have a blog post or something, these are the big pieces of text within. They're sort of like headlines within the actual, article or something. Emails use them too. And those would be to appeal to three demographics: the competitive, the beneficial, and the inspirational. And these are usually the three groups of people who are looking to buy a product or use a certain service, right? The competitive, we're going to pretend quick that we're selling the Gym Master 9000, right? So to sell it for headlines, we could do a competitive headline, which would be something like, once I owned the Gym Master 3000, or, once I owned the Gym Master 9000, all the other guys at the gym were jealous of my bulging pecs and throbbing glutes and, other homoerotic descriptions we can throw in there, right? Something like that. The next one, the beneficial, would be, I weighed, I'll actually explain what this is first. This is, you explain the benefits either through a testimonial or through just like some piece of information, like a fact or something. So we're going to do a testimonial for this one. It would be, I weighed, 90 pounds, but then after 3 months of using the Gym Master 9000, I developed 6-pack abs and people started to notice my improved physique, It's just a benefit. You tell someone how something helped them. Last one, inspirational. This is for people who are very low in sort of self-confidence, or they don't necessarily know if they'll be able to succeed at their goal or if the product will actually help them to achieve what they want to achieve. So this one could be something like, even if you have no experience exercising, the Gym Master 9000 can help you to develop the body you've always dreamed of. Something like that. It's a little more inspirational and it paints a picture and sort of gives them a vision of what they're working towards. So in conclusion kind of to this video, there are the book. This book will teach you how to write better. Has a lot of great stuff in here. It's very concise. You can go through it before you write your copy. And like I said, every single section is just a little couple pages for different pieces of information. But they all pack a wallop. And if you go through here while you're writing, you are going to find ways that you can improve what you're working on. Secondly would be the fact that the information in here about, casual copy, great stuff, and it's stuff that people, especially newer writers or especially writers who think that they need to necessarily show off, really should pay more attention to, because it's going to help you grow your audience significantly. And it's also going to help improve sales, improve readability, and just make you sound like a more friendly and, conversational guy. People are going to be more willing to do business with you or to hear what you have to say if you're able to talk to them rather than trying to talk down to them. And then lastly, headlines. Headlines are super important. With a bad headline or without even a mediocre headline, you're really shooting yourself in the foot in terms of, sales and stuff. So you want to have something that, grabs readers' attentions and gets them to whip out their wallets to buy. And, appealing to the competitive, the beneficial, and the inspirational, those three things right there are going to do more for you than, a lot of what other people are trying to preach and stuff. Just covering those three demographics is going to really help you improve sales, really help you improve your clientele, and, just get more people to read what you have to say. Even if you're just, trying to spread some sort of information, people are more willing to listen when they think there's something good in it for them. Anyway, like I said, this book will teach you how to write better. Neville Medhora. Excellent book. I think it's $4.50 on Amazon. You're going to get your money's worth, definitely. Even one sales letter, one blog post, whatever, it's going to pay for itself within just that alone.